Do me a favor and close your eyes. Imagine that you're an aerospace engineer working for NASA. Then, according to your calculations, the long-awaited space shuttle launch tomorrow will end terribly. You hastily inform your colleagues and superiors about this pressing issue. Everyone was doubtful at first, but they listened intently and deliberated to postpone the launch. Everyone happily went home, and you are hailed as a hero. Open your eyes. Crisis averted, right? Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for the Space Shuttle Challenger disaster in 1986. In this version of the story, the NASA managers were dismissive of your concerns and went ahead with the launch. And all the engineers, including you, reluctantly agreed. All 7 passengers of the space shuttle died. Months later, the findings revealed that this tragedy could have been prevented if groupthink did not override the decision-making process. So, what is groupthink? According to Irving Janis, it is a mode of thinking that people engage in when they are deeply involved in a cohesive in-group, when members striving for unanimity override their motivation to realistically appraise alternative courses of action. Hence, we could see that members of the group that are close to one another perceive themselves as invulnerable and are blinded by optimism. Any dissenting views could face an outright exclusion or an uphill battle. But Tristan, I believe in the adage of teamwork makes the dream work. I mean, humanity's most triumphant achievements, like the internet, the smartphone, and Reddit, would not have been possible without the brilliant minds coming from different backgrounds. Yes, that is indeed true. But just like the engineers and managers of Space Shuttle Challenger, there can be times where you can be swept away by the group, which can have repercussions that could mean life and death. A classic experiment by Stanley Shifter examined conformity, which is a symptom of groupthink, and how it influences group decision-making. There are groups of male college students who are tasked to read a case of a juvenile delinquent and agree on the appropriate punishment, which range from lenient to severe. There were around 8 to 10 participants, 3 of which were Confederates who rehearsed in advance the roles of the following. First, we've got the mode, which conformed to the decision made by the real participants. Second, we've got the slider, who initially opposed the views of the group, but eventually conformed. And third, we've got the deviate, who opposes the views of the group. Sociometric questionnaires were given out that serves as the measure of rejection. Who do you think was liked the least? As shown, the mean rankings of the mode and slider were lower than the rankings of the deviate. Differences between the mode and slider were not found to be statistically significant. However, statistical analysis confirmed the difference between the mode and deviate are significant. Hence, we could say that the deviate faced relative rejection, especially in groups with high cohesiveness. So how could we prevent groupthink? There are many ways to prevent groupthink, which are as follows. First, you've got to be impartial. The leader should not give out an opinion in the assignment of tasks to groups. Second, you should assign or ask for critical feedback from group members and open the floor to anyone for concerns. You could do this by assigning a devil's advocate, which would challenge the majority position. Third, you assign independent groups to work for a common goal under different leaders, which would help prevent the insulation of an in-group. And lastly, to provide an opportunity for everyone to voice their concerns before making a final decision. As you might have already imagined, group decisions are all the more relevant once we start to pursue our careers. So, for our future doctors, policymakers, teachers, and whatever profession people in this room may choose, it is important to not let your voice be drowned in what other people say. A team is there to facilitate discussion and not an exclusive group when everyone can sing the same tune. To work together and not to prove who's the greatest and the smartest. And ultimately, to make a difference in people's lives. Teamwork may not always make the dream work, but when done properly, it can make the dream work. Thank you very much.